Welcome my guys, I am Shieda, I'll be your host for today's video, and in today's video we will be taking a look at the vanilla texture pack. Let's put things that way. So what I mean by a vanilla texture pack, it is a texture pack that it's meant to just increase the quality of the things that you see and not change them. So you will be seeing vanilla Valheim as it is, but with more quality. So that would be the idea. If you enjoyed this type of content and want to see more of this, make sure to drop your like and subscribe, and especially that subscribe. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers, and if you're actually enjoying that type of content, you might as well subscribe. And without more delays, let's jump into the video, and thank you so much for just clicking in the video in the first place. This is the first thing that I'm going to show you. As you can see, the walls and man, I don't remember the name, god damn it, but those things, the poles, the core poles that I have in there, they are actually different, staying the same, if that makes sense. So the kind of overall question would be, will this still be the same texture as Valheim as by default, but just upgraded, just more high definition? So this is the first thing that I want to show you. So you can see that you have the walls that you will build with, you have also the banners, you have also the core poles or whatever this may be, because I'm pretty sure I'm saying this name wrong, but you have them there. You can see they are very close to what the Valheim ones are. Their texture just looks a little bit better, or I would say like much better, honestly. So I'm guessing this might not be as taxing as some of other texture mods that we've seen. So overall, for the first impression of the mod that you get with the walls, with the poles, with the roof and the floor as well, I think it does a pretty good job at staying Valheim like, having more quality. So let's just check out the rest of the stuff. I talked a little bit about the roofs, but I actually want to go in depth a bit more here, because I think they look the same as the thatch roofs on Valheim, honestly, but I think the definition and the quality of the roof, it's much better, like honestly much better. And I still can't see, well, this is what I've seen in Valheim for the first time I played. So I just wanted to actually show you a little bit of the roofs, because I think it was worth mentioning. We have a couple of the stone materials that you kind of can build around with Valheim, and I would say that the texture, it does a good job of staying what a stone texture on Valheim is, although this is kind of rough to make, because the texture that you see as default made out of stone, it's quite, you know, unbalanced and poorly made, because there's like an idea that there's a texture in there, but it doesn't feel like a texture, it feels like something off, you know. So that's kind of the sensation that I get from just watching the normal stone of Valheim. So I think it's a pretty difficult thing to come up and give the stone some texture that kind of stays the same thing as the other one, because I think the other one doesn't have like clear and simple concept. So that's what I'm telling you right here. I would say that this is fairly close to what we have as a stone element, or stone wall, or stone whatever it is on Valheim, because I think whatever you do in here, it's acceptable, because the texture that they give you as default, it's kind of like doesn't give an overall idea, or an overall like a clear thing that this is what this is supposed to be. Let me know in the comments down below, what is your opinion on the stone texture of default Valheim. I would actually like to take a look at some of the furniture, because I think there are some furniture in this game that we kind of use a lot. So I would say the beds, it's one of those things that you're gonna see on a daily basis, like in Valheim days, of course, right? So the first bed, which is the bed, the normal bed, the first one that you kind of sleep, the wood texture is just stayed the same as he had it on the game. So I think that's okay, that's a good touch, it fits what Valheim is, right? And the touch on the bed, you know, it's kind of the same as you saw on the roof. So, and the dragon bed, that's exactly how I remember the dragon bed to be. I think overall these furnitures, you're gonna see them a lot, and I think they are very close to what the normal bed is, and also the blanks as well, they kind of look the same thing to me. So overall I think it's a pretty nice job. Again, staying with the course of the furniture that you're gonna actually, you know, see a lot, the chests are also something that you will see a lot, because you have to storage stuff all the time, you have to pick stuff from your storage all the time, you have to do a lot of stuff in your chest. So I think it's worth to kind of just pay a little bit of attention to the chests here. And one thing that I want to say is that the wood texture looks kind of nice. I would say the iron chest stayed very like super close to what it was, like by no means. And I would say that the texture of the smaller chest, It's incredibly cool. It's amazing, honestly. And I would say that the small chest also has a pretty insanely cool texture. It really is nice to see that texture. And I think it resembles very well what the small chest is and the way it looks, especially with having those darker wood tones in there. I think it does a pretty close job. So what can I say? Although you're not going to use the artisan table so far, or the artisan table doesn't ever use anyway, I think it looks pretty nice and it's pretty close to what it was. The crafting table, one thing that I actually like to see, it's the fact that you don't see any tools on top of that table. And in some of the AD texture mods that I've seen so far, some of them actually add those tools. So I think that's a huge thing that you actually see in this mod, and especially due to the thematic of the mod, that it's staying the same as it was, just being HD. So I think that's a pretty cool detail. The stone cutter, it's pretty much the same thing, it's just exactly like it is. And the hammer kind of feels like it's the Frostner that's in there because of the texture of the stone, which is a nice touch. I also enjoyed that. And the forge, pretty much the same thing as well. It stayed the same. So I would say that the workstations, I think they also stayed the same as they were. So for this next segment, I just wanted to tell you that I'm gonna go ahead and actually just make a montage with some music in the background with the biomes and how they look. If we don't see each other anymore, thank you so much for watching, and as usual, the video is over, subscribe.